Hi everyone, I'm Darian. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to walk you through how to work up the even moss crochet stitch, not to be confused with this linen stitch that is also sometimes referred to as the moss stitch. The even moss stitch is beginner friendly but offers a unique and lovely texture, so let's get started. So for those of you who are beginners, in order to start a foundation chain for crochet, you need to have a slip stitch. So the way that I make a slip stitch is I just fold the yarn in half, okay? I take my finger and put it right through the yarn, turn it like this, and then grab this yarn right here and pull it through. All right? There are easier ways to learn how to do it, or just different methods of learning how to make a slip stitch. This is just the way that I learned how to do it. And it doesn't matter, which end you have. If you have your end here and your working yarn here, it really doesn't matter. You can have your working yarn there and your end there. It does not matter. Just make sure you have a long enough tail to weave in at the end. So again, this is how I make my slip stitch. Take my finger in the yarn, turn it, put my thumb through the circle that I just made, grab this yarn from the other side and pull through. And that's how you make a slip knot. Now you're going to just put the working yarn, put the slip knot on the hook, and then we're going to chain an even number of chains. And in order to chain, if you are a beginner, you're just going to take your hook, yarn over, and pull through. And that's how you make a chain. So go ahead and work your even number amount of chains that you need for your project. So once you have your even amount of chains on your foundation chain, we're going to start working the even moss stitch. So what you're going to do is you're going to skip the first chain and you're going to work right into the second chain from the hook, this one right here. And you're just going to work a slip stitch. So in order to do a slip stitch, you just put your chain through, you put your hook through the chain, and I like to go underneath the two bars. A lot of people just go under the one, so it's like that. I think it's a cleaner look at the end if you go under both bars. So you're gonna have like three little bars on here. And then you're just going to yarn over, pull through the stitch that you just worked, or the chain, and then pull through the yarn that's already on your hook. And that's how you make a slip stitch. And then in the next chain, you're going to work a half double crochet. So in order to do a half double crochet, we're going to yarn over as if you're going to make a double crochet, insert into the chain, yarn over, pull through the chain that you just worked, and then we're going to yarn over again, and we're going to pull through all three loops that are on the hook. And that is a half double crochet. So then in the next stitch, we're going to work a slip stitch. Insert your hook into the chain, yarn over, pull through, and pull through again. And then in the next stitch, we're going to work another half double crochet, and I'll show you how to do that again. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the chain, yarn over again, and pull through. So you have three loops on your hook, yarn over again, and then you're going to pull through all three loops on your hook. And you're just going to repeat that sequence all the way till the end. So in the next stitch, we're going to slip, and the stitch after that, we're going to half double crochet. Okay, slip stitch one more time. Half double crochet, so we're going to yarn over, insert the hook into the chain, yarn over, and pull up a loop. So now we have 3 loops, and it helps me sometimes, especially if my tension is too tight, to just kind of hold on to the base of what we're working at right here. And I just kind of make some space with my hook. And then we're gonna yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. And we're just going to repeat that all the way down until you finish. You should end with a slip stitch at the very last chain. So I will meet you back here when you're finished, and I'll show you how to work the next row. Okay, so we are back and we've finished our entire foundation chain, row 1. And we're going to work the last stitch right here. And that is going to be, it should be for you a slip stitch. So we've worked a slip stitch here, a half double crochet here, and we have one more slip stitch to go right here in this little chain. So work the slip stitch, and the last one can always be a little finicky. Okay? And once you do that, you're just going to chain 1 and turn. And so now we have kind of the start of what the even moss stitch is going to look like. And I really love this texture, especially for acrylic based yarns, because, or even cotton. I've used this texture for hot pads. I've worked it with 100% cotton. It holds up great. It adds a really great thick texture to the hot pad, especially, you know, when you're pulling things straight out of the oven and putting them on top of it. I haven't had any hot pads get ruined. My countertops have been fine. So yeah, I just really love this texture. I've also used this stitch in particular for projects like beanies, or headbands, winter headbands, even scarves. If you're using acrylic, this just makes like a really nice squishy, fluffy texture that's like really nice for winter time. All right, so we're on to row 2. And in row 2, we're just gonna do the same thing that we did before. It's almost an exact repeat of row 1. We're just going to slip stitch, except for we're not gonna skip the first chain. In row 1, we skipped the first chain and we only worked into the second chain. This one, we're gonna go straight into the first chain. So we're gonna slip stitch into the first chain, half double crochet into the next, slip stitch, half double crochet, slip stitch, half double crochet. And we're just gonna continue that all the way on. And it's easy to remember because you're gonna slip stitch into a previous slip stitch. You're gonna half double crochet into a previous half double crochet. And you'll be able to tell which one that is because the half double crochets have this little, I don't know, like a little wave going on right here. They got this little hump and a little, like, kind of like a wave. It reminds me of a little wave. And then the ones in between are gonna be the slip stitches. So we're always going to start on a slip stitch and end on a slip stitch. That'll also be another way to help you. So again, how we're gonna start is we're going to slip stitch into the first chain. So in order to do a slip stitch, you just insert your hook into the chain, yarn over, pull through the chain, and then continue pulling through the chain or the loop that's on your hook. And then we're going to do a half double crochet. So you're gonna yarn over, like I just did, and you're gonna insert into the chain right here. You're going to yarn over again, pull through the chain so you have 3 loops on your hook, and then yarn over again and just pull through all 3 loops. It's really simple. Slip stitch into the next, and half double crochet into the next. And you can see the stitches if you turn your work sideways. You know, this is sideways, so if you're looking at it from the top, you can see the individual V's. These are the top of the stitches. These are what you're going to be working into underneath. You're not working through into here, you're working into here, underneath the two V's, so that when you insert your hook, you can see the two bars of the V of the stitch on your hook. So again, slip stitch and half double crochet. And so you're just going to continue doing that across, alternating between slip stitch, half double crochet, slip stitch, half double crochet, all the way across until you get to the end, and you should end on a slip stitch. I will meet you back here when you're done. Okay, I've made it to the end of my row 2. I have one chain left to work, and that is my slip stitch into the very last chain. And we're going to chain 1 and turn. So, okay, so on to row 3. Row 3 is just going to be a repeat of row 2. We're just going to do the same thing that we just did, exactly the same. We're going to work a slip stitch into chain 1 and a half double crochet into chain 2. A slip stitch, half double crochet. And that is the basis of the even moss stitch. Slip stitch, half double crochet, slip stitch, half double crochet. Very easy, very mindless. Really don't have to pay too much attention to it. You half double crochet into a half double crochet, and you slip into a slip. And that's it. You start with a slip, you end with a slip. Each side is going to be the same. So go ahead and continue working this all the way, however many rows your pattern calls for or whatever your making calls for, and I will meet you back here so that we can see the finished results. Okay, so I've worked a few more rows, and you can see the even moss stitch starting to appear in the form of these little waves or rivets, whatever you want to call them. Again, it's just a beautiful texture, and I thought I would show you. This is one of the headbands that I recently made using the even moss stitch. It looks really nice vertically. I really like how it came out. And this is just a regular acrylic yarn. I think it's Hobby Lobby's I Love This yarn. But anyway, if you guys would like to see a tutorial for this little headband, let me know. I would love to make one for you. And that is the even moss stitch. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I will answer them as soon as I can and try and help clear up any issues you might be running into. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe so I can continue growing my channel and making more tutorials for you. All right, I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye.